This is the 30-minute Bike Erg test. We use this test to help us determine different zones of training so that we can reach very targeted stimulus for your workout. There are 7 to 8 zones of training, kind of depending on school of thought, and we heavily utilize zones 2 and 3 in training. And the reasons we do that are relatively endless, all right? We'll educate you more on that in another video. But it's important for us to maybe have some numbers that we can pair with that just to make it easier for you to be able to accomplish them, all right? So the 30-minute Bike Erg test is a max effort test for 30 minutes. And that's what makes it pretty tricky, is that it is hard to gauge what is max effort for 30 minutes. But here's what you do. Make sure your seat adjustment is where you want it. Make sure your handlebar adjustment matches that of the seat. And then make sure as far as forward backwards of this handlebar, you're in a position that you enjoy, all right? From there, it's all about maintaining. My number one rule on this Bike Erg is maintaining 80 to 95 RPMs, right? So it doesn't matter whether you're doing zone 6, zone 1, zone 5. I would like for this to be 80 to 95 RPMs, and there's a really good reason for that. The main reason is that it's enough of a cyclical rate for you to flush out waste at the same time as bringing it in. So it's really helping improve your VO2 max. It's helping you kind of build just mitochondrial density. And that's just something that we can use a lot of science and break into this. But basically, that's the money zone on this Bike Erg. Running has a money zone as well. So does rowing, and it's all based off of anthropomorphics. But basically, you need to hold 80 to 95 RPMs as rule number one on this Bike Erg. All right, so in the 30-minute test, you'll be at 80 to 95 the entire time. Now, what dictates max effort for you, or how you're going to manipulate numbers, is going to be the damper setting here on the side, this little flywheel damper setting. We want that damper setting as high as we can while maintaining that 80 to 95 RPMs throughout the entire 30 minutes, all right? And that is where we're gonna get the burn, all right? As this damper setting goes up, so does our wattage on here, all right? But if we go down, the wattage will go down. But you have to maintain that 80 to 95 RPMs regardless, all right? So it is max effort. You want this damper setting set as high as you can maintain that 80 to 95 RPMs. Here's what we're tracking in this workout. In all of the 30 minutes, you'll set the monitor here up for a 30-minute workout so that it does most of the tracking for you. And you're gonna have the units selected on watts. I would like you guys to track your average watts for the entire 30 minutes. And it does that automatically for you. So you just have to watch for the number at the end. Then you're gonna track your max meters. How many meters did you get in total? And those are the two kind of easier things to track. Lastly, this is the more difficult thing to track, but this is a very important piece, is I would like you guys to track your heart rate, all right? But only for the final 20 minutes of this test. The first 10 minutes is just there to get your heart going. The last 20 minutes will be an actual accurate reflection of what's going on with the heart, right? So the first 10 minutes is just your body kind of shifting gears, but the last 20 is you're in a gear. It's time to go, all right? So that's why we only do the last 20 minutes. If you do not have like an Apple Watch or a Whoop or something to track your heart rate, that's fine. I've done this test multiple times using just my fingers on my throat. And when you're going hard effort in that last 20 minutes, you're gonna feel your heartbeat, no questions asked. All right, so that's not going to be a problem. All right, every 2 minutes for the final 20 minutes, go ahead and give yourself a little pulse. And what I do is I just watch the time on here, and I do it easy to look at. What is 6 seconds? So anything that ends on a 0, and because it's counting down, and then ends on a 4. That way I don't have to think about the actual numbers, I just know I'm looking at 0 and 4. Don't get distracted by anything else, right? So when it starts on a 0, let's say it's 10 seconds left of the minute. So let's say it's 19:10. You're taking your pulse from 19:10 to 19:04, all right? In that time frame, you are counting how many beats you get. And then you're going to basically multiply that number by 10, and that is going to give you your current heart rate in that moment. Then you just do that every 2 minutes for the test and start manipulating your number. It does not need to be perfect, it just needs to be close, all right? And that will definitely get you within the ballpark, right? So if you give me a good solid average, and you can write them all down, if you wanted to, although I would think that's a little bit difficult. You could have your phone kind of added in the notes as you're cycling. I find that difficult when you're truly going max effort, but you could do that. What I do is I just simply kind of tally it up in my head. If I was 170 on one time, 180 on the other, my average right now is 175. Then I go to 160. Okay, now my average is probably closer to 170, maybe 168 at this point, right? So I'm just kind of playing with those numbers as they average out over the 20 minutes. At the end of the 20 minutes, you write down your average heart rate, and those are the three things I need: average heart rate, average watts, and your overall meters. But again, maintaining 80 to 95 RPMs, max effort. This test we'll be able to put into an online calculator that will spit out all the different zones of training, and then that allows us to create really awesome workouts for you guys that hit the exact stimulus that we're aiming for. All right, so that's the Bike Erg 30-minute test. I know this is a long video, but we find this test very, very valuable for training, and I find this machine to be probably my overall favorite machine in the gym because of how well I can target a stimulus, and because I can hit zone 2 on this machine much better than I could do it on any other machine. In fact, I would argue that a lot of people cannot get zone 2 out of any other machine. This machine is money. All right, so don't undervalue this thing. If you're really serious about longevity, that zone 2 stuff is very important. We'll go another video maybe someday about zone 2, but this is a 30-minute Bike Erg test. The website we use is, I believe, Data Cranker. So if you go to Data Cranker and just search cycling zones, or cycling zones calculator, this will do it if you want to self-serve. All right.